Hello. Today we have got a sketchbook flip through. This is one that I started really in earnest using in May and finished in July. So it was the start of in November, sorry. We played around with finding colours from a specific, like matching a colour to an item. So this was a sofa and other stuff. I can't remember, it was so long ago to be honest. Thinking about value, putting together little still lives using 3 colours. And then we did timed drawings, and that was this photo. And then this was again another time drawing, and the photo of her is further back. I'll show you that because I did that more recently. Christmas card prep. And then there's that same woman I did as part of my oil pastel month in March. Okay, then we get to May. So these are like a continuous line drawing of David. This was the office that I recently vacated. Then a drawing daily together from Instagram. I used pan pastels and pencils. This was again in early May, the view from my bed looking out the window, but not, it was a grey cloudy day, so I just tried to like capture the gloom. This was again using pan pastels. I think it was shortly after I got some. 4th of May, pan pastels and some Jackson's chalk pastels, or soft pastels, whatever you call them. Made up from my head, not amazing, but I don't mind it. Not bad for a proper first attempt. Then this was a Sarah Van Dongen call in January, February, March actually. This was May. I'm not sure where the photo from this was, the reference photo. It might have been a Patreon photo, but it looks like I used the Kuretake set, judging by the colours and the months, because May was my month of using the Kuretake Art Nouveau set. I'll link that up here if you haven't seen that and want to. Little drawing of David in pencil. That's probably the best drawing I've ever done of him. He gets really frustrated with my ability to draw him in a way that he thinks he looks like, and this he approves of. Generally I just use him as like a base to draw a person, and it doesn't look like him and he gets a bit upset with me. This I think was an Emma Carlisle session, but I'm not absolutely sure on that. That was in late April. This was King's Day in the Netherlands, in the town where I live. We sat one side of the canal and David had a book and I did this. I really love this. It's a kind of illustrative style I really enjoy, and I haven't done anything like it since, so I need to rectify that because I love this. It's one of my favorites in the sketchbook. That same day I did a drawing of David, and I showed it to him and he said he looks like an aging rock star or beat poet. I think it was acrylic marker again, the blue one that I used here, which I think is Molotov. And then in May, because I had left this blank page, I wanted to do like one of me from that day, but I ended up doing it with the Kuretake set again. A little bit too pink, but you know, it was fun. I also used that, you know, this stuff, I've forgotten what it's called, masking fluid. I used masking fluid on here as well. It was fun. This was the same day, King's Day, but terrible proportions. I did have fun doing it, but then these people became aware of me doing it and I got shy and stopped. Another one of David, he says, what happened to my eyebrows? This was in April. Acrylic marker by the looks of it, Tombow brush pen, and then dark indigo, and I suspect that's probably Carmine Lake luminance pencil. Splash of orange, because why not? Another Kuretake set. This is David. It doesn't look anything like David, but basically I drew David here, and then in May I did this using the Kuretake set from this. Yeah, I have no words for that either. Again, his face is a bit too pink. It's similar to my one a few times back. I think it's because the Art Nouveau set doesn't really lend itself to portraits, maybe, like to skin tones. Then this was just experimenting, putting together a palette of different brush pens, Tombow brush pens and acrylic markers. I like to use my sketchbook quite a bit for swatching and just like learning how my materials work. This was another daily draw together from Instagram from week 13. I liked this and then I messed it up and then I disliked it. I love all the orange, but I don't like how it came out. These were the pan pastel swatches from when I got them in May. Kuretake set. I think I was going to say it was a made up, but it's not actually. It's from Lena Moz, who has a Patreon. I really like it. I love it actually, but it's not, I don't feel like it's my style. It's literally, I copied what she was teaching in her Patreon. A couple of drawings of my desk in front of me. Drawing my hand. Flowers. I keep wanting to be able to draw flowers and get excited about the thoughts of drawing flowers, but I just don't. I'm not a florals person, and that's okay. Sitting in the garden. We actually had a really nice spell in early May, the 11th of May. Really lovely hot weather. So good that David insisted I sit out there with him, even though I don't like being in the sun, because it was the weekend and apparently I shouldn't work on weekends. I struggle with working. I like working. So I sat outside drawing him, and I also drew the view. So where we sit at the end of our like roof terrace, that's my view back. That was quite fun. And then you'll be aware that we had a flood situation at our place. If you've been here long enough, we had a flood which happened from our cat sitter not turning a tap off while we were away. So the bookshelves were empty, so I was drawing those to try and depict the emptiness. Didn't get very far, but I just used 2 materials, I think. The dark indigo, and I'm not sure what the brown was. I can find that out. And then I made up this. I drew, I think I was up in David's snug. Oh no, it says power plant, so it's not David's one, it's my dad's. We have lots of these plants. So I drew that while sat there, but then I actually did the background just for something a bit quirky. Again, it's kind of illustrative and I like it. I need to think more about like this kind of practice. Then this, you would have seen we were swatching out acrylic inks when I got them in, well, probably the last art haul that I did a couple weeks or months or so back. This you will have seen in my June art challenge month, my Making Colour Sing challenge. This was Kuretake, Katie Moody, a live session that we did, and this one as well. So same session, it was a month of Japan in May. This I did the Kuretake set. This one I did pastels and pencils. And I've got this really cool texture effect. I don't know if you can see it. From the pencil not being quite sharp enough, which I really liked. It happened accidentally, and so I continued with that, blunting it down in order to get that texture back in. You can see it over here as well. I think this was from the same session, but I never finished it. This was from a photo. Can't remember if it's the one that we did on the live call in May's live stream, or if I did it after that. I can't remember, but I do monthly draw together sessions. I haven't done one for June because I was away so much, but I'm hoping to put a date in for July if you're excited for that and want to join in. This was again back home at my dad's. Again, really like it. It's very basic in terms of composition and color value, but I'm really liking how I created the leaves using the negative space. The paper had been prepped, I think, and then using pencil around it. There's something about it that I like. And this is that woman earlier on in the book that I told you about. So this was using Derwent Inktense pencils. I was actually sat in bed feeling like not ready to go to sleep, so I dragged them out because I keep my Inktense pencils upstairs, and did this again on a prepared page. Then a few days later I was traveling to the UK again, and you might have seen this on my community tab here on YouTube. This was Rotterdam Station, where I was waiting for the Eurostar to depart. These are some drawings I did, quick sketches, timed ones. I love this one here. This is just so cool. I love that. I wish I could draw like that every day. But I really like that one. I'd done quite a bit of drawing beforehand, this one and these. And actually I had my, if you haven't seen it, I had my tool roll as a belt around me, so I could really just pick out what I needed quickly and work fast, and that really helped to loosen me up, I think. But this one is definitely my favorite. And then these were the people opposite me on the Eurostar. Again, I was so funny because she became aware of what I was doing, and she got out her phone and she like tidied her hair, put herself in order, and then lay back and closed her eyes. It was like she wanted, if I was going to draw her, she wanted to like know that she was looking her best. This was on our live stream in May. Yeah, I like this. I really enjoy this one as well. I think it's the combination of colors, the textures, and having done it with you on YouTube as a live stream that I keep going back to this and just loving on it. Then this was another person on the journey that I was traveling with. This little old lady was so kooky. And down here, you can't see it, but behind here there was like a little brown paper bag, and it had like empty, you know, you can buy those small bottles of wine that are like, you know, a glass full. She had several in there, and she just kept, she had a little pop down thing here that she kept filling up her wine and watching the iPad. And there was like a big guy over here that just kept like looking at her, and she was just like, hey, I'm going on a trip, I'm having fun. It's so cool, and I had to capture her. And then this was an Emma Carlisle session when I was back in the UK at my dad's. This is actually her dad doing things around the garden and stuff, and so we drew from them quickly. This, okay, so funny story, because I showed my dad this and these, he was like, cool, ding dong, you're getting good at drawing now, aren't you? So the 23rd of May is actually my mum's birthday, but obviously she's not with us anymore, so we spend it together as often as we can each year. And my dad had said about, oh, so I got my sketchbook out. This is my brother, doesn't look anything like him. Did get the pose, like he had his leg here and this one here, and got the pose, got the clothing. That does not look like his face. This is my older brother, got his pose. Love how I've done his hands. Can you see his fingers? but his head is like tiny in comparison, and also doesn't look like him. Although he doesn't have much hair, so I did accurately depict that. I don't know if he watches my videos. He knows about this channel, but I don't know if he watches them. And then these were just some kitchen utensils at my brother's house because I hadn't drawn all day. I was working on my secret project, feeling a bit frustrated, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to do some kitchen appliances with the kuretake. This was another one from that same Watercolour session using the kuretake set. I struggled with that. This is my Inktense pencils. I'd swatched them out upstairs to see which ones I liked. Another one from Watercolour's dad chopping down a tree. This was heading to Cambridge to look at the venue that we're going to be having our wedding at. Not at that house. I was waiting for the bus, obviously, bus stop. And then I was sat here, and this little boy was sat here with his brother and his mum. And he had smileys on his socks, and this lady had penguins on hers. So I drew that on a jiggity jaggedy bus while we were like heading, well, I was heading to Cambridge. This is another one from Katie Moody, but it's a reference photo from Japan, her month in Japan, which I quite like. But again, I'm not, it's the detail of like greenery and foliage. I like rocks. I like rocks. But trees, I don't think they're my thing either, as much as I would like them to be. This was the kitchen sink at my brother's. Really like the colour and the illustrative style. Self-portrait, because I missed the self-portrait session in Watercolour's Patreon. I was like, I'm going to do one anyway. This was my dad. I'd gone up, while I was back at my brother's cat sitting, I would pop up every other night and have dinner with my dad. So I sat there with him. He had a bellyache and he was just lounging out. And I liked this section here when I started drawing him. I put his foot in and I did the chair and I was like, okay. And then I got to here and I realised I didn't have space for his head. I was like, what have you done to my head? But again, I like the illustrative style of this. And that's what's great about having a sketchbook, isn't it? It's like you can play around with different like techniques, different materials, and see what you like to do. So I need to revisit this again. I might actually bookmark a few pages so I can really look at them in detail. And so the next day, I think it was, or maybe the day after, yeah, the next day, I drew him again lounging with a sore belly. Doesn't look anything like my dad, but looking at the time I really loved this, and now looking back I actually love this more. This one feels more like me and my style, but do I have a style even? 1 minute continuous, no comment, my dad said. He looks like, I don't know, but it's a continuous line. He's like, well, it's not bad for a continuous line. Some swatching. I don't think you've seen these yet because it's in the next art haul that I haven't shared with you yet. I don't know, like, you know, you can have really bad pages in your sketchbook too. It's perfectly fine. Like, a sketchbook should not be perfect. It should be a place for play and experimentation and discovery. As this shows, like, it's just scribbles, looking at how different materials can layer up. Yeah, scribbling away. This was a train to Gatwick, very fast train, and I took moments to just capture what was flying past me. And then I actually used the next day or the same day. Oh yeah, the train from Schiphol. So when I arrived in the Netherlands, I then used reference pictures. Then this is the Jane Dobie set for my June challenge. I will link that up here if I haven't already. But that was from then. I think I looked at a photo. This you'll remember because we did it on the live stream, only now it's a different version. I can't find the page now. I don't understand where pages go. It's like they just get like sucked into the ether, never to be seen again. Like, we just looked at it, didn't we? So this was the original one of the street in Paris, using background colour from my FW acrylic inks. Here I decided I was going to do a variation just using my June watercolour kit. So you can see the difference in style. Then this was from testing out the colours, not single pigment, whether they're transparent, whether they were semi-transparent, opaque, narrowing it down. These that you would have seen in the recent video, recap month. If you haven't, then I do, like, each month I do a challenge. I start the month telling you what the challenge will be, and then I recap it at the end to show you how I got on. So obviously ghastly drawing, but 1 minute Katie Moody session. I think I didn't, oh no, that's the same one. Katie Moody, this was in June. So 15 minutes and 40 minutes. Then this was just, oh, I got some other things that are in my next art haul and I was experimenting with them here. Put together a drawing box, again, link it up here, but my little DIY drawing kit, which I've been loving. You can see, not sure what happened here. I had put down background acrylic ink and then I wanted to work into it and do like a cow. I love this section here. Look at all that like yummy, rich, oh my goodness, tasty like But the cow itself is terrible. So it's not finished. I need to think about going back to it, but probably won't. This was from an Ian Fennelly session. David drew me some dinosaurs. We're in the UK. He's very good at drawing. He's probably better at drawing than I am, but he just doesn't do it very often. I did the background. He just did the dinosaurs. Then this was another Ian Fennelly. This was David in bed, and I was using just the graphite art graph stick, but with a paintbrush. And really, I love this one. It's very calm. David in bed reading with the cat sat on his legs. This was another Katie Moody session, 50 minutes. Can you believe it? I think this is the one that I turned up to, realised it was going to be super long, made myself lunch, loitered around, then joined it in when I had like about 30 minutes left, and then I did a bit more extra after. I don't love it. The perspective's wrong, the tree's terrible, but it is what it is. We learn, don't we? David's like a zombie. These were little sketches that I did at O'Malley's where we went for our non-roast dinner in June. This was dinner, terrible drawing. Hidden this because when we were in the UK I realised I didn't have my right to vote sorted, so I had to practice my signature. This was the view in the back garden at his parents' where we were sat down, looking back at the house. Then, this was a place that we went to view, to have a look at, Guy's Cliff from Saxon Mill. Little bird, I think that's from Francis Ives' Patreon. The photo was in there. This was my primaries for Octanic Force for the Jane Dobie month. Sorry, my voice is getting really hoarse. I'm trying to be as fast as possible, but it's like, pain hurts. This was from a photo that was put into the Groningen Urban Sketches group. On Facebook. Somebody had popped a photo up there, so I had to go doing it, but very late at night, so it didn't really work out. Can't remember where. I think that's a Francis Ives as well. That was in the UK. I was drawing David, and actually I didn't draw him in person. It's from a photo in the UK. This was the recap from my June challenge. This is part of July. I'm not going to show you any more there. This was the night of the general election in the UK. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. It's a plant that we have in our front room, and I love the colours. I love the negative space. I love the line work. It's very basic. I haven't done much to it, but I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. Trying to draw my hand holding my sketchbook, I guess. That might have been at crazy in the morning. The UK election night, we stayed up until like 6:30 in the morning here in the Netherlands, and I was like unable to work for pretty much the next 3 days because I can't handle lack of sleep very well. Not that much lack of sleep anyway. Then this was a Beth Spencer and Katie Moody session on the 5th of July. Using a Posca beige marker and then lots of colour in the background. So although it says like 10 minutes, 4 minutes, I actually spent a lot more time working on the background than the actual owls because I really wanted to work on that background technique. So building up texture. Again, playing with acrylic markers, drawing my cat. This is like, this room, this is where I am now. You can't see me because you can't go through the door, but that's where I'm sat now. A suitcase that's far too big, my cat on the map. This was the Kabouter. This was for a Dutch game or the English game, I forget, but we went to watch it at our local, and they have a Kabouter, which is like a gnome, sort of, sitting on a barrel. And then this was my new mini palette that I've been playing with that's made up of mixed multi-pigment paints. So here's my single pigment paint, which you will have seen. You can see I've actually separated. So I've got warm yellow, cool yellows, as in like to be mixed, not that they all each like that. And then this is my mini palette. You can see the difference in size. But I thought, oh, it would be nice to see like create a mini palette I can just put in my jeans pocket when I want to dash out. And if you compare that actually, you see the difference in vibrancy because of the pure versus non-pure. Then this was an Emma Carlisle session, the archaeological dig, choose your route or something. Then this, sorry, I had to check because I've got some post-note information in the sketchbook. I really like this. I liked mixing the minimal colours. I only used 5 here. Polychromos, Holbein, Illuminance, another Holbein, and a Tombow pen. And then this is just a whole bunch of swatches in 3 different materials for the 3 materials drawing challenge. And I can't show you anything else because there's personal information behind. That is my sketchbook from May, June, and part of July. I guess also there's some April stuff in there. I feel like I mostly really used it in May and June, to be fair. But I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know I enjoy hearing from you. The good, the bad, the in-betweens, your thoughts, suggestions, recommendations, all of that. I'm not sure which one I love most. I like this one. I also really liked Why do I always lose these things? Ah, this one. I really like this one as well. So, thanks so much for watching. Please do give the video a like if you made it this far. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comments, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye. Somewhere on YouTube, you'll find me with my videos that will fill you with glee. Thanks for watching. Bye.